Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Salty Sweet Games, where we shenanigan, sob, and smooch our way through tabletop role-playing games and scream our way through horror video games. I am the aforementioned Salty,
And I'm sweet.
and these various assorted spices are our friends. Before we go around and meet everybody, welcome to Masks of Nyarlathotep. It's a Pulp Cthulhu campaign. Hype! We have been running this campaign for almost 1 year. Like in 2 weeks, it'll be 1 year officially, which is so there are also new things all around the channel. As you can see, we are using captioning. Really, really cool. Finally got it all set up and are so excited that it's here.
Web Captioner is an amazing resource that's open captioning for a bunch of different people for free. It's great. It is also learning our voices as we use it. So you will see misspelling. We apologize, but this is the software as it is, as it's just trying its best to learn. That's what's going on.
Are we? Are we? You can also see character art for our characters. These are by our friend Avery, also known as Matt_Bat_ online. Their link will be in the scroll at some point, so you can go follow them and commission them when they're open. They are the best. Now into official things. First of all, a ton of thanks to our sponsors, starting with Roll20, our virtual tabletop of choice, which unites gamers across any distance with easy-to-use tools that run straight from your web browser for free. We are part of their Spotlight program, which highlights indie TTRPG creators all across the interwebs. Wow, it got TTRPG. And we love them very much. And also, if you like dice or coffee, we have some other lovely sponsors in Dice Envy and Grinding Coffee. We have links and codes with both of them if you would like to save some money on order. If you're here, you probably like dice and or coffee. So at least one. Put the dice in your hot chocolate by looking like. Um. Also, there are tip incentives down below that you check out. If you would like to directly impact the game. Anything that comes into the channel through subs or bits or Streamlabs tips, all that good stuff just goes right back into the channel. We do it to compensate our cast, that start work on new projects and channel upkeep, like get new art and like do things, and we can keep doing them because of all of you. So thank you very much. Last thing, we here at Salty Sweet Games use safety tools, lines, veils, XN and O cards, stars, and wishes because while the characters may be put through hell or other terrible horror, the players are here to have fun. Summer, stop it. The players are here to have fun, and they are our priority always. So, let's meet them. Kienna, first, why don't you tell us who you are playing today?
Yeah, sure. Hi, I'm Kienna. I'm the sweet of this channel. My pronouns are she and they. But today I am playing Irene Blackwell. Her pronouns are she and her. She's the resident forger of the group. She is also Chinese American, so Shanghai is going to be an interesting experience for her as she navigates being in a place that she comes from, but she's never been to before.
Nice, awesome. And let's hop over to Allie. Hi, Allie.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Allison. I play Ganymede Graves, adventure scientist. My pronouns are she, her, and Ganymede's are as well. She is a naval officer, a naturalist, an archaeologist, and is finally recovered from her scrape with death with the cultists of the Black Pharaoh in England and raring to go in Shanghai.
Excellent, excellent. Let's hop down to Summer, who's being very well
Oh.
behaved.
Listen, you can't give me a web captioner. I will say things on mute and share my thoughts with the world. Hi, I'm Summer. I use she, her pronouns, and today I am playing one Mr. Charlie Rapp in his salmon suit. Look at it.
Mm.
Thanks, Avery. Yeah, and he uses he, him pronouns. And it's just been like a fun, I'm just like having fun with my friends. We're like going on a trip for total, like for pleasure, not for business. It's going to be great. Can't wait.
Excellent. So, I guess that leaves Tommy.
Yes. Hello, I'm Tommy at Imperative Penguin on the Twitter sphere, and I am playing Zebulon Augustine Claiborne Montgomery III, who has been through quite a roller coaster in England. England's been a real roller coaster for Zeb, but it ended on a high, so that's good. Yeah, I mean, I would also be amazed if web capture got my Zeb's full name.
It
That's
did.
amazing.
It
That's really
absolutely
impressive.
did.
That's super impressive.
Thanks,
But yes,
web captioner.
yeah, props. That's amazing. But yeah, super excited to get to Shanghai.
Hey, I am you. Lauren, by the way, I am the keeper for this adventure. So, we're going to do a recap. It's actually a great time to join us if you have never joined us before, because here we go. So, the investigators came together over the murder of their good friend Jackson Elias, who was investigating the infamous Carlisle expedition, all formerly presumed dead, which led him and now you to a conspiracy involving various death cults around the world. Many names, many forms, but all the same and to one end. Based on the clues you found in New York and England and the encounters you had with the cult of the Bloody Tongue and the Brotherhood of the Pharaoh, you theorize that these cults are amassing in particular locations around the globe and working together to build a machine of some sort. Though the particulars are specifically in terms of last time, our investigators tied up loose ends in London, all the while being plagued by nightmares of the horrors they've already faced, those still to come. And yet there was a renewed sense of hope among them. Irene saw a giant black mountain and heard the sounds of a baby crying. Yet, was able to strengthen her friendship with Zeb. Ganymede's mind replayed the horrific events at Miser House, and yet she found solace and romance in the arms of the former Detective Inspector John Craig. Carly was visited by the group enemy, Zara Shafiq, but she was changed, repentant, and obviously in peril. And while this disturbed him greatly, still took time to read The Secret Garden. Zeb also had dreams of failing to save his sister Annabelle plagued him, though she was live and in the cottage at Oxford with them for a while before returning to America. Yeah, get rid of my noise gate because it is not perfect. Okay, that should be better now. So, where was I? Yes. Luckily, Zeb had his own visitor in the night, the very much improved Eloise Vane, her ghoulish symptoms having regressed, though not gone. And after about 3 weeks had passed, the group booked passage to a new location, one where at least one member of the Carlisle expedition currently resides, in Shanghai, China. So, it is a long journey ahead. So it's time for a red line montage. You take the night ferry from Dover to Calais, then an overnight express from Calais to Venice, and finally you board the RMS Viceroy of India all the way to Shanghai. All things considered, you dock in Shanghai on Monday, May 11th, 1925, 11 days before the new moon. For no particular reason. Don't worry about it. Anyway, little background on Shanghai. Let me see if I have a nice soundscape for you. And I do, of course. Shanghai is built on the delta of the Yangtze River, making the land upon which it stands nearly flat. Shanghai is also a low city with dikes and seawalls protecting against flood, tide, and storm. After the Treaty of Nanking in 1842, first British, then French and American representatives took possession of, aka colonized, certain areas adjacent to the original Chinese city. These areas of extraterritoriality became known as the concessions. In 1854, the three concessions formed the Shanghai Municipal Council, or SMC. By 1863, the British and American concessions had joined together to form the Shanghai International Settlement. Under the terms of extraterritoriality, frequently shortened to extrality, citizens of Britain, France, and the USA could only be tried under the laws of their native country, whether their crimes were committed in the concessions or not. Chinese citizens were prosecuted according to Chinese law in local courts. By the 1920s, innumerable regional and local rulers exist, cliques committed to maintaining their power by force often. There are more than 100 powerful factions, criminal gangs, and movements with aspirations to power, and in 1925, where our story is set, it is unclear which, if any, will be the victor. Like the city's French gendarme, the Shanghai Municipal Police, or SMP, is heavily infiltrated by local criminal gangs, such as the Green Gang. Money-wise, the Chinese adopted dollars in the form of the yuan as their official currency in the late 1880s. As a result, Mexican silver dollars are widely accepted as they are in other locations around the world. In terms of language, English serves fairly well within the international settlement. Governmental buildings, the better hotels, prosperous businesses all have copies of a small local phone book, as well as possessing the only public payphones. Local telegraph services and the mail are reliable, and within the city, private couriers cost less than the price of a stamp and are quicker. In the old city and beyond, you must speak Shanghainese or have interpreters or guides called compradors. Mandarin Chinese or Cantonese might do at an absolute pinch, requiring a successful language roll. Everyone complains about the heat and humidity in Shanghai during the summer and fall when the temperatures reach an average of around 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Thanks to the typhoons that sweep in from the China Sea, it is damp and starting to get warmer when you arrive. And there's music everywhere, a lot of jazz, as you make your way through the city to a guest house on Black Slipper Lane. Welcome to Shanghai. What do you do?
Zeb's definitely looking around. He's like, well, it's a bit more crowded than home, but this is probably honestly the most like, Charleston I've seen in a while. I mean, there's jazz, the temperature, the climate is right here. I think I'm gonna really enjoy Shanghai. A little bit crowded, but
The climate is right.
It is.
What a fucking
it's humid,
usual
right?
thing to say.
It is right. Feels like New Orleans, but somehow wetter.
As they walk down the gangplank, Ganymede is wearing like high-waisted pants that are sort of beige, and they're silk, and a white linen shirt kind of buttoned up. Is well dressed for the heat and humidity. It's not her first time in Shanghai. And she just sort of stops and takes in the view of the docks, and she's taking a long pan up and down the docks from this point, a little bit kind of up close to the deck still of the of the Viceroy of India. To the casual observer, she looks like she's just taking in the scenery, but the rest of you know she's looking for a particular ship that might be docked here in Shanghai, the Sea Devil.
What about the rest of you?
I definitely think Irene is like looking at everything, and she'd never been to Shanghai. Her family comes more from the Canton region, so she never heard many stories of it. She knows that, very strong amount of British and American influence here. And so it's this kind of familiar but not familiar feel that she's kind of taking in. Um, and she's that kind of fluent where you're like kind of able to tell what's being said on like certain signs. Like you can fill in the gaps for words you don't know, but definitely not enough to like be completely fluent and or not look like like small child level of fluency. That's kind of where she's at. So she's kind of like taking it all in, uh, combined with what amount of English is around because again, British and American influence here. I think she probably has an expression of wonderment at everything.
I think if we haven't already arranged for a guide, that's what Charlie's going to look into.
Yeah.
Just getting somebody who's familiar with the area, somebody who probably has good recommendations, especially given that what we're going to be looking into is
Sure.
probably a bit sketchy. Charlie wants somebody that he can trust to keep this information to himself, but B is also very knowledgeable.
Great.
So that's what Charlie's setting out to do, and he'll spend whatever money he has to.
So yeah, more about compradors.
Mhm.
Many of them here tend to dress in Western style clothing. I think there's probably like, if not a full like agency, at least like a gathering spot for compradors at the docks. And the one that I think you will find is Li Wencheng, who is about 24. And I think the thing that makes him stand out is that he is wearing Christian symbols. Like
Gotcha.
he wears a cross. Yeah, that's what makes him stand out to you. Talking, he is very knowledgeable in terms of the different dialects of the area, and definitely not a cultist, because, again, Christian.
I'm like, wow, that guy is definitely not a cultist. We should hire him. I think that basically I'll let him know like kind of where we're staying. Because I would imagine we would probably plan to get settled in first. Just drop up all of our stuff, see where we're staying, all that good stuff. But I would introduce him to the group. Just, hey everyone, this is Li Wencheng. He's going to be our guide and translator while we're here in Shanghai.
He smiles brightly at all of you. I don't know, what's the atmosphere? What is the atmosphere like right now?
Charlie's super chill. Like, I mean, like, the thing is, like, there's this kind of transition period where oh my God, it's like checking into a hotel. You know, like, how, like, vacation doesn't really start until you, like, put your shit down, like, and unpack your bags. Like, Charlie's in this kind of in-between headspace of, like, we're technically here, but we're not really here yet. Like, we're not going to be here until we've had a chance to sit down, have a drink, change out of our traveling clothes. Like, it hasn't started yet. So his brain is very like it's not in the cult shit yet, right? Like he's
Right.
literally thinking logistically about travel. Like he's not like, oh God, we really need to find out about these like import export places. Like he's like, we really just need to like sit down. Like
Yeah,
we
you've
need
been traveling for a month.
yeah, like literally, I'm so glad we're no offense to ships, but Charlie's really glad that we're like on land again. Like
Uh-huh.
we lay down in a bed that doesn't have that like weird sensation of rocking, right? Yeah, so that's what he's like. I don't know about the rest of you.
I think Ganymede is exactly the opposite, right? She's now out of her most comfortable environment, but that puts her in exploration mode, and her eyes are wide. I think even though she's been here a couple of times before, she's taking it all in. I think to Mr. Lee, she probably appears to be kind of, like I said, wide-eyed and open and energetic. I think her friends know that she's not on edge, but she's very focused right now. Again, she's kind of especially here at the port of Shanghai, is expecting to, hoping to catch a glimpse uh, of 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 something.
Lauren, where did you say we were staying?
It is called the Jinjiang Guest House on Black Slipper Lane. It is not the famous and extremely opulent Jinjiang that is in Shanghai now. But
Gotcha.
this is actually the reason I think this occurs to you is because in one of the letters that Jackson Elias wrote to his editor, Jonah Kensington, that is where it is postmarked from. So it is the same guest house that Jackson stayed at.
Awesome, yeah. So Charlie would just be setting up for us to, if it's, how close is that actually to where we are?
I think it's.
I would get a map.
Yeah, we wait. Let me transition to the map just so people can see it.
It's such a cool map too.
Map,
Map.
and it has all like the different areas. The French concession is marked, as is the old city, and the international settlement as well. I don't believe the guest house is on here, but I'm going to say you're close.
Okay, cool. Charlie would just make, arrangements with Mr. Lee just to be like, this is where we're staying. Can you meet up with us later today? And then if it's close enough to walk, like Charlie will just start walking.
Oh yeah.
And head that way with our. Oh God, I'll probably pay someone to bring our shit over. Like,
How much did you pack?
well, okay, so like our stuff. Well, okay, well, Charlie probably brought more clothes than anyone else as
Sure.
a start, but also we have so much just shit. Like we have statues, we have headdresses,
Your
we have fucking
plant.
scrolls. I have my blood plant. I have all the mice that come
how,
with it.
how is the blood plant on the ship?
Yeah, what
I
did
just
you
need to
feed it?
know.
I fed it rats, like I don't know. I fed it mice and like
Casually just found it. Found it
I don't
rats on
know.
the ship.
And I'm sure there's
fed
a
it
few rats on
blood,
the ship.
blood. Sometimes, desperate times call for desperate situations. When you run out of mice, when you run out of mice, like I've got plenty of blood, plenty.
Yeah. Did you
Like-
feed it any of your own blood?
Yeah, for sure I did. I'm not afraid of a plant, Lauren.
Famous last words. Great.
Yeah, absolutely, I did. For
Great.
sure. Get my little plant big and strong. Yeah, but we've got all that shit. We're not carrying that ourselves.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just like pay too much money for somebody to come do it. Please, somebody else do it. We're just gonna walk.
Great. Yeah, I think, especially here. Why don't you make a spot hidden check,
Sure.
Ganymede?
Oh, just kidding. I was like, yeah, I'll
I would
find
love
road.
to.
Yes, yes, I will. Oh, it's our first Shanghai roll.
Yay, good luck.
Roll well.
You got this. Don't fuck
Ah.
up. Oh.
Too late.
Or I don't.
That's okay. That's okay. It is bustling here. It's
Yeah.
very crowded. But you don't see a sign of the Sea Devil. It would probably be difficult to see, but still, I mean, it's a ship you're intimately familiar with. If it were here, you would see it. All right. So you can make your way to your guest house. And once there, it's easy to go up to the rooms, to unpack, to relax.
Okay, Charlie's switching over from traveling mode to like slowly getting in the cult vacation mindset. Gonna have a drink.
Uh-huh.
As you do after traveling. First thing you
Right.
do. Is this like this guest house? Is there like how big is this place? Like, is there multiple people stay? Like, are there a lot of people who stay here? Or is this like a smaller kind of?
I think it's a
situation?
smaller one.
Okay.
Let me show y'all some
Oh, yeah.
of the handouts, handy dandy
love-
handouts.
Love a handout.
So of course we've got the ship that you came on, which is easily the biggest ship in the place when y'all arrive by far. What else do we have? Just kind of some imagery of the city at the time. Let me bring this up. Whoops. I want to bring it up a bit for everyone to be able to see. One day I'll be able to do it. There we go. I kind of got it. It's also pretty. I want to show everybody. So this is kind of what the area looks like. I think it's not set off by itself. It's really in the middle of everything. Yeah.
Love that. Okay. I think as soon as everybody's had like some time to unpack and like chill out, we'll gather together. What time is it? Like morning? What time of day is it?
Sure.
Okay. So we'll probably get together, and Charlie will just be like, all right, so we could have some lunch. But we do have quite a few places that we could check out today, tomorrow. How are you all feeling?
I'm starving, and based on the smells coming in, I suspect the food is delicious.
Yeah, I could also go for some food. I mean, it's food on the ship wasn't too bad, but I'll be glad for a land cooked meal, I suppose. Zeb's unpacking, was just tossing his bags in his room. He's already in like back in like his linen like summer wear, right? Like
The worst.
he's he's just prepared. You know, there's a
I'm
little
also
wrinkle in his
dressed
jacket.
I
you know,
am super casual, but not as casual as Zeb. I'm not wearing a jacket. I'm not wearing a vest. I still look amazing. Yeah, I think Charlie will just be like, I let Mr. Lee know where we were staying. So I would expect that he should be around before too long. Maybe he'll have some recommendations on where we go for lunch. Obviously, I didn't tell him the nature of our business here, but I'm sure that we'll get around to that. And Charlie's going to start pulling out all the papers that we have related to Shanghai.
Sure.
There's like was it Ho Fang import export?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, that was a big one where a bunch of crates were going.
Yep.
From the Penhue Foundation and other assorted Edward Gavigan related things.
Yep. I'm going to take out everything that gives us any kind of like addresses or names, and I'm going to jot them all down onto a separate like piece of paper.
Yeah.
Because it's my intent. I'll just give it to Lee and just be like, hey, can you like please take a look at this?
Sure.
We've also got the Stumbling Tiger bar
right.
matchbook.
Great. Yeah.
The matchbook you found in Jackson Elias's room where he was murdered.
Yep. I'll also just write that address down, and I would just be like, hey, this is a list of locations that we're interested in checking out. We have associates in these locations. Like, I'm not going to say too much.
And there's also... Is there another one?
I feel like there was. So we've got the...
Yes, well, Anthony Chang at the Shanghai Courier. Which you're going to save because we have a guest coming on to play him.
Actually, I'd really love... Zeb would like to get in touch with him now.
I would like to speak to him right now. No, I would just send word that we're in town and give him our address and just say stop by at your earliest convenience. So like next week out of game time. Or whenever is
2
convenient.
days game time.
Well,
3
whatever.
weeks from now.
I meant out of us time.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Eventually, at his earliest convenience.
Who? I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to find. What was the name of the Carlisle expedition guy that was here?
Jack Brady, who was kind of Roger Carlisle's bodyguard.
We didn't get a location on
Oh no.
Jack, though.
Oh no. Let me pull up that letter.
He's not from New England, is he?
He is an interesting fellow. Come here. So at Miser House, you found this unfinished letter to somebody called the Pale Viper. Elias has been dealt with by our friends in New York, and now we must turn to our other problem, namely Jack Brady. I understand that he may be in Shanghai, and ask if you would direct your resources to hunting him down. It is stupefying that this troubling man has evaded us for so long. He may become an obstacle to our great plan. If you wish, I will. And then the letter wasn't finished when you discovered it. So, Jack Brady, a member of the Carlisle expedition, is apparently alive and well in Shanghai. So, what, if you would like to, what Mr. Li Wencheng can tell you about some of these names, places.
Yeah.
He knows that the Stumbling Tiger Bar is what is called a puzzle talk bar, a place where information is regularly sold for money. And it is owned by someone named Fergus McChum, who is Chinese and Scots.
Yeah, I made a guess based off of that name.
McChum.
So what was the name again? It was
Fergus McChum is what people call him, and his last name is Chum. Oh, sorry. What? Oh, yeah, no, it is Western written.
Okay,
Yeah.
Fergus McChum Chum.
Yeah, you can
it
just
sounds
call
like
him
a real
McChum.
place that
Great.
Gerald Fitzpatrick should make an appearance.
Your
Okay.
secret identity.
It, and that is that like close to us?
Yeah, I'm gonna actually put y'all near the stumbling tiger because it is just easier that way.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And then what does he say, if anything, about the Hofang imports? Do they have like an office location?
They
You know,
do.
because we love imports and exports.
Make
This group.
a psychology check.
Psychology check.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I will. I shall. I shall do it. I'm gonna use an advantage.
Okay.
So I have plenty. A hard success. A hard success.
Great. Fantastic. At the mention of that name, Li Wen Cheng gets very uncomfortable.
I'll drop it.
Yeah.
I won't press him on it.
He'll tell you, he asks if you want his home or the warehouse.
Warehouse.
He tells you approximately where it is it's right on the river. In fact, you probably would have passed it again. So Ganymede, if the ship had been there, you would have seen it because you would have come in that way.
Okay, great.
Okay.
I'll just get the address for the place and thank him. I'm not gonna press him on that
Yeah.
anymore.
I think he even crosses himself.
When we mention it, oh my fucking god, I love that. Okay, great.
So,
As we sit for lunch, Ganymede eats quickly. She and she's probably the first one done, and so she's just sort of sitting there waiting and maybe tapping her fingers on the table while the rest of you finish.
I think before Lee leaves, I think Zeb would ask Lee if there is a bar in the like what like bars do the foreigners go to around here? Do they gather in?
oh, there are probably some tourist trap places, but I think he kind of squints at you when you ask about that, and he asks if you mean a flower girl house.
Zeb says sure. He has no idea what that is.
Oh my god.
So Zeb says, I mean, if that's where I can find some people. Yeah, sure. I think Zeb's trying to get very wow, words hard. Trying to get along well with Mr. Lee. It's like, look here, now this is a proper God-fearing man in a foreign country.
A proper God-fearing man.
Charlie is listening to this conversation and I'm not saying anything. I'm going to let this happen.
Yeah.
I'm
yes.
gonna
Same.
let it happen.
Okay.
Same.
Does anybody want to make an anthropology check?
Sure. I'd love to. I don't have anything in it, but you know
Just
what?
to know exactly how much Zeb's embarrassing himself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's my favorite thing. Why did you?
Because
On the
you
off chance of
literally
Hawaii.
never know.
Yeah.
It's happened
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
It's in Hawaii. Yep.
Yeah. What about you, Irene? Do you want to roll this, or do you?
I did.
I'll
I-
spend
I-
35
Oh,
luck.
no, you won't. Oh, you did roll it. So Irene got a success. A flower girl house. They're businesses where courtesans, otherwise known as flower girls or sing-song girls, provide services for mostly male clientele.
Yep.
They are not paid for this. They are trained from a very young age, and can provide all kinds of companionship. The houses are owned by aunties who run the day-to-day business and train the girls. They're often very luxurious and well appointed, but the flower girls themselves get nothing. So, with your psychology check, Charlie, Mr. Lee is judging Mr. Claiborne Montgomery.
Yeah.
You mean that he doesn't see him as a good God-fearing man?
Well, not anymore.
Yeah, I'm just not. I'll tell Zeb after we leave.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
only after.
I think there's
After,
definitely
later.
like a moment where Irene looks at Charlie, like in that, should we?
Charlie just loudly sips his drink with a smile on his face.
One question is, does Zeb gets some places he can go check out though, right?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Including
Let me
that
find
place.
it
Tell
for
me,
you.
the most important thing that's happening right now is I'm getting information. I'm getting leads.
Yeah. He actually tells you about one on 88 Lantern Street. Because
Is this a flower girl shop or is
Yep.
this a bar?
no, it's
Okay.
a flower girl house. Because you said yes. And he actually says that something very strange happened there a little while ago. What are the basic? There was a murder near that flower girl house, which I think he probably includes to kind of like put you off of it, but he does mention it. And he's
all right. I mean that, you know, Zeb just kind of look like nods off to the side. That sounds about right. Right.
yeah, and
Kind of offhandedly.
he says one person who saw the murder was so distraught that she identified the killer as a giant bat. Which might sound familiar.
Yeah,
to
Zeb just
some
kind of
of you.
nods. Zeb just kind of nods. Yep, sounds
Yeah.
about right. You know, average. That's all Zeb's got.
Yeah. So, where would you like to go?
price of his dignity.
It just
Zeb
cost
doesn't
him-
know this. You
Oh.
can't lose your dignity if you don't know what's going on. Until later, at least.
Very true, very true. So, do you all want to go anywhere?
My inclination would be to go to the Stumbling Tiger first, especially if it is close.
Yes.
We have a name now, McChum. So, that name is wild. I love it. So yeah, I think Charlie would just kind of look at the group and be like, "So, where do we begin?"
Well, probably best to keep gathering some information first before we make any direct confrontation and / or breaking and entering. Looks so very canny.
It's only breaking and entering if you get caught, Zebulon.
I don't think that's how it works.
works.
I think you're still.
You're
breaking
only
and
saying that
entering.
because you got caught, Charles. It is perhaps early for there to be much action at the Stumbling Tiger, but we might find Mr. McChum less engaged if he's present.
That's
If
true.
not, at least we can find out when he will arrive.
At the least, we could leave a message, let him know where we're at and that we're interested in talking with him. I think it's going to take some doing to find this Brady.
Well, I'm
According to that letter, they were even having a hard time tracking him down. So, I think we should see what kind of people we can meet here, what kind of connections we can make, people who are going to be a little bit more experienced in finding him. Maybe someone knows something, but
Yeah, I'm
sent
gonna put
off
out some
a letter to
feelers
Anthony
and-
Chang, so hopefully that will turn up with something soon.
I have a friend here who could perhaps tell us more about these unusual blueprints. He is quite an engineer, and I trust him. I could perhaps send them over by courier and then check in on him after a couple of days. He's had an opportunity to review them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mr. Lee, could you secure a courier for me, someone that you trust?
Easily done. Oh, and thank you to Cajun Bayou who tipped $10 and gave someone an eldritch gift. That was Zeb this time, and he got a useful item. Look at my fancy macro / rollable table
Oh, beautiful.
that I made in Roll20.
Very nice.
So
You're
pretty.
so talented.
Thank you. I learn. I'm a fast learner. Okay.
One useful item.
We'll figure
One
out
whole
what that
useful
is.
item.
One whole item. So, Ganymede, what is the name of the person that you are sending off the blueprints to?
His name is Shiyung of the Jade Lily Foundries.
Okay. Can you just pop that in chat for me at some point?
I certainly can. Mr. Shi is the person who created Ganymede's shotgun boarding axe years ago, when not long after her first encounter with the Sea Devil.
Nice, nice. Excellent. So that is done. And if
I
you
have
would...
a.
Mhm.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No.
I just had a question.
Mhm.
Is there any like? it's hard to know like how to look for it, but is there any like oracle minded like fortune telling like kind of shops that I could potentially go to? Because I seek out my own people.
Yes. In fact,
Wherever I go.
there is an ad probably posted outside somewhere.
Uh-huh.
It's actually an ad that was placed in the Shanghai Courier. It says, "The stars are right. Do not allow dark fate to overwhelm you. Worry not that evil rivals seem to possess secret knowledge that you lack. The answer is in the stars. Consult the heavenly stem and the earthly branch to peer behind the mask and uncover what is lost. A most auspicious future is guaranteed. Contact Shanghai's famous astrologer, Mr. Lung, 129 Kaoyang Street. No appointment necessary."
Oh, I'm gonna go so quick. I'm gonna go fast. I'm gonna run all the way. I'm so excited.
We're all going.
129 what?
I think.
Yeah. Oh, we're all going.
129 Kaoyang Street. I'll point it out, but do you want to go to the bar first, or...
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
I'm excited. I just.
No, it is very exciting. I think you'll see a couple of those kind of plastered around, as well.
Taking one.
Yeah. So, that address is number 10 on the map. So not far from where you are either. Although it's actually past Hofang's warehouse and past the Flower Girl house that you were recommended.
Oh my god.
And the Stumbling Tiger Bar is number 8, which is really close to where you are.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so hyped. I'm so glad I even thought of it.
It was a great question. I was ready.
Yes, you were
Yes.
ready.
Okay, so Stumbling Tiger Bar.
Sounds like a good place to start.
I think so.
Excellent.
as I wonder, Kienna, I wonder if we would have had conversations maybe as a group before we arrived, and I think Ganymede probably would have been curious to know what you thought of the place, given that it's your first time here. Um, does that sound right to you?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. So perhaps as we're making the short walk over, Ganymede walks with Irene. So, what do you think?
It's a lot. It's fascinating. Um, I think most of the time that they've been there, like Irene hadn't been looking at like anyone in the party. She's been like looking around most of the time. Um, and it's just like, well, I mean, I've heard some stories about what Shanghai is like. At least that's what my parents have heard about what Shanghai is like. So my knowledge of it, I mean, I knew it existed, and it's just this combination of West and East here. It's different being here, especially uh, their knowledge is at least a few decades out of date now.
I was last here 4 years ago, and it's changed a great deal. Not necessarily for the better, I'm afraid. It seems wherever the colonial powers plant their flags, places become oddly homogenized, you know? You hear, you hear so much English in the streets these days. It's a pity, really. It should be otherwise.
It's definitely different to be surrounded by even if it's a lot of English, majority of people who look like me. I mean, my family wasn't the only Chinese family that in my hometown, but it's different.
I can only imagine. I think if you'll allow it, I think Ganymede sort of takes you arm in arm as you walk closer to the bar, and she's quiet and just lets you take it all in.
Mm-hmm.
So, at 10 Lantern Street is the Stumbling Tiger Bar, identified by both Chinese and English signs and by the image of a drunken tiger tripping over a stone. The Stumbling Tiger inside is a single room plus a separate toilet. Both rooms are large, dark, and kind of dirty. There are green and magenta posters of kind of Chinese songstresses and film stars decorating the walls. The light is simultaneously harsh and inadequate. Decades of cigarette smoke and missed shots at spittoons give the air a heavy, damp quality. There are a few men inside, including at least one Japanese foreman who appears quite drunk. Behind the bar, polishing a glass with a surprisingly clean rag, is McChum.
I'm never gonna get over that
The
name.
name, sure, it's a doozy.
Like what a combo of,
Yeah.
of Scottish Chinese going on there.
He has a very thin smile, looks up when you all come in, but this is not like, his business is not like hospitality. You know, because of Li Wencheng, that his business is information and money. Yeah.
Well, I've got one of those things.
And we need the other.
Yeah, so I think Charlie will just go up and get a drink, like kind of like unassuming at first.
Yeah.
Not like digging into. I think like Charlie's kind of not playing dumb, but like just being like he's playing a slow burn, you know? He's not going to come in and be like, "Hi, I'm from America and I want information now." He's going to be like, "Order a drink and chill out."
Let me show you a picture.
Yeah, I
of
can't
our-
wait to see it. I can't wait. Oh, I
our
love
dear
it.
McChum.
I love McChum.
Look at that. Isn't that nice? That's a
Unconvincing
great picture.
smile.
I love this guy.
Love it. Oh yeah, so good. Yeah, Charlie will sit down at the bar and order a drink, hang out,
Yeah.
just vibing.
Yeah. Easily done. Yeah, what about the rest of you?
Probably doing the same. Ganymede's content to let Charles take the lead in this conversation, I think. And yeah, I think she's asked for some kind of cold drink and is keeping an eye on the surrounds, occasionally looking back toward the door, any other entrances, etc.
Yeah, there is nothing but the bathroom.
Yeah. I think like after I'm like halfway through my drink, I'm gonna look at Ganymede and I'm gonna just casually just be like, you know, Ganymede, I actually heard that Jack Brady was in town.
Oh, that's interesting. That's a name I haven't heard in some time. She's muted, but she's like laughing.
can
She's
hear
cackling in the other room.
Allie's like, because she's laughing so loud.
Yeah,
What's
so
his
Ganymede is-
expression like when I say that, Lauren?
Okay.
What does McChum
Okay.
do as I casually say that?
So a couple of things happen.
Great. I'm never surprised in combat. I feel like that's worth saying.
Yeah, right.
The
Yeah.
drunken foreman, the glass he's drinking from, he knocks over. If anybody looks at him, you can make a psychology check or an anthropology check, actually.
Okay.
Like weird, I don't know why. But it says you can make it. Cool, everyone's so good at reading people. Great. A couple of, not a ton, but a couple of the patrons in here, anybody can make a spot hidden while I describe this.
Yeah,
Sure.
Zeb was kind of looking around to see what the other patrons were like around here and see if he could find someone else to chat. So I'm just gonna do this spot.
That's a hard success for me.
Yeah.
It's a normal success for me.
Yeah. Okay, so with those spot hiddens, you notice maybe a couple of the men who are in here. Again, it's not super crowded, but maybe like one or two have tattoos of swallows on their hand. And they also kind of can't help. They kind of like perk up when the name is mentioned. And McChum. McChum remains blank-faced.
Sure would be nice to be able to find him. We've got this inheritance that we need to get. No, I'm not actually saying that.
Got so much money that we need to give him. Oh my god. So much money. Gold. Pounds and pounds of gold.
Real
I
estate.
think Mick Chum, that's not helpful. Brings over, maybe I think he was preparing all of your drinks and he brings them over, and I don't know that any of you know whether this is intentional or not. He spills the drinks all over Charlie. And then says, "Oh, I'm so sorry, sir. Come with me, I'll get you cleaned up." And like puts a very meaty hand on your shoulder.
Charlie's like, hacker voice, I'm in. Like, it didn't. Yeah, he'll just kind of like he'll get up and like start to brush himself off. Like, he doesn't look suspicious, like, of McChum, right? Like, he's not trying to be like, oh, I see what's going on. Wink, wink. We're going to the back room. Okay. So I'm going to go with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just be like, okay, I'll be back in a minute.
He gives a very, like, when he's so close to you, like a hard stare at the rest of you as well. Almost an imperceptible, like, shake of the head.
Don't follow.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad you said that.
You can follow if you want.
No, I think as Charlie was getting up, Ganymede continues to sort of play into it, and do you need me to come with Charles? It's been so long since I've seen you. After all, I hate to be separated. She bats her eyelashes a little bit.
I think he's gonna say, I'll be right back, dear.
All right. She goes back to, I guess not her drink, because they're all spilled all over the bar at this point.
Yep. I think one of the gentlemen with the swallow tattoo gets up and leaves. Okay, so yeah.
I probably, with my spot hidden, I probably noticed that.
You could go. You love following guys,
We
don't
love
you?
splitting the party.
We love splitting
Yes.
the party. We love following people.
I think I think Zeb's just gonna be like, well, I'm not gonna sit here with, drink spilled all over me, so I'm gonna go get changed. And he's gonna politely dip.
Okay, I need a spot hidden and a stealth, Zeb.
Do we have any pool advantages left?
I don't know. It's not my
Wait, let me go
job.
look. Hold on.
Okay, wait, no, hold on.
No, we
I've
do,
got
we do,
one.
we do, we
I've
do,
got,
we do. We have
I've
one
got
left.
one of my personal advantages.
We also have one in the pool left.
Okay, well, I'm gonna do advantage on the stealth check first.
And yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Tommy, unless you don't want it,
I
Tommy,
know,
I'm gonna go
no.
with you.
Resource.
I mean, yeah, no, I'm gonna spend 14 luck on that. Fuck.
Whoa.
Okay. What is that? Just a regular success, right?
Regular success, yeah.
Hold up, where's that perennial fucking quote?
Luck is a free resource.
You were like back up to max though, weren't you?
That was close to max, yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's fine. Luck is a free
Yeah.
resource. I would totally won't need it later. How much luck is it to spend to not die? I just need to stay above
30.
that. Okay, and then a spot hidden, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do I use that last pooled advantage
Yeah,
for
use it.
this?
Yeah. Go ahead. Take it.
You might need it. You might need
Just
it, Charlie.
go ahead and take
Okay,
it. Take
got
it. Take it. Take it.
All right. Okay.
You
Ooh.
need it.
Ooh.
Yep. Okay, so you are going to be able to follow this man. And you are going to be able to follow him from the Stumbling Tiger Bar to a very, very nice house. Isn't that nice? It's going to be quite a ways, but you're going to be able to keep track. He mostly stays by the river, so you're going from 8 to
I have a feeling I might know whose house this is. Me
Thir-
personally.
31. From 8 to
Okay, never mind. It's
31.
not who I thought it was.
Great. Good. I'm happy that that's what happened. So this house, it has a name. It's called the House of Quiet Repose. It's in the old city, so you are out of the international settlement, and you don't speak any dialect of Chinese. There are guards out front of all, like, actual, like, proper guards. Just standing out, and the gentleman goes inside. I think you see the swallow symbol over the door as well. Or rather on the side door frame.
Okay. Is there like a tea shop across the street, or
Sure. Sure.
is there like a stand or a store or something with like sort of a view of this place that Zeb can sort of
Absolutely.
observe from for a little bit, like
Absolutely.
not too long, like maybe like 10-15 minutes.
Ganymede, did you go with him?
Not if it's going to do anything to mess up those stealth or spot hidden rolls. I didn't.
Okay. Yeah. So you can watch. I think over however long you watch, make a listen check.
Hey, listen check. Let's go listen check. Come on. Where is my listen skill? There it is. A lot of my skills are like kind of right in that 50s. Come on.
Right. It's everything looks normal here. I think at some point, because why not, you are going to see a woman arrive. Or rather, yeah, I think she arrives. I have a picture. You do not know her name as of yet, but she's tall, with a very nice figure that she shows off very well. Her dark hair is elaborately styled, and she's wearing kind of traditional Chinese dress of the period. She also has a jade brooch of a swallow, and she goes inside.
Zeb's not going to stick around too long. He will probably be eventually noticed.
Probably.
And so he goes to think about purchasing. I don't know. So what kind of establishment am I at? Am I at an actual tea shop or?
Sure.
Okay. This time Zeb would have remembered to have gotten some different currency
Sure.
from someone.
Sure.
And pays for it, and then sort of nonchalantly heads back.
Great.
Probably to the hotel.
Easily
probably
enough done once you get your bearings right. Back in the Stumbling Tiger bar, once Charles is escorted away by McChum, the drunken foreman stands up, kind of catches his feet, and then falls. But with the fall comes a powerful right hook into the other man with the swallow tattoo, and cold cocks him, knocks him out. And then kind of looks back at the two ladies. What do you know about Jack Brady? Not drunk at all.
Cool. Great.
No, okay, wait a second. I just want to make sure I got this. Which one of the guys is still standing?
The drunken Japanese foreman.
And how far away is he?
He's a respectable distance away. He's not getting up in your face. It was a good punch, though.
Oh. I think, yes. Ganymede just looks over at Irene, and the look is, I don't know if you can read it or not, but the look is, do we throw down or do we not?
Great. Love this decision. I think Irene just kind of, her hand doesn't go to her bag, which is usually the sign of I'm getting my gun. So her hand is still on the table.
I think he straightens out his foreman's uniform and kind of like puts his hands up and then down at his side, and probably gives you like a small bow.
Okay. Then Ganymede doesn't go for her bag either. Well, I was under the impression that this was the sort of place where you paid for information. Mr.
He introduces himself when you say Mr., he says Captain.
Forgive me, Captain.
Isoj Taro.
And what are you willing to pay for that information?
I think he looks a little insulted.
Ganymede's straight up bluffing, by the way. She's
Yeah.
buying time here.
Yeah. I think he's gonna make a psychology check then. I think that's fair. I never get to do that.
You never get to roll that.
I never get to roll anything. I made all these character sheets. Psychology. Ah, yay. He knows you're bluffing.
How many other people around? Is it just
I
him?
think it's it. I think it was the guys with the swallow tattoos and this man's
And this
captain.
dude.
Yeah. So nobody else is in here.
Okay. Yeah. I think Irene at this point was. Well, how much do you know about him? Considering the and gestures at like the direction that that McChum took Charlie.
I believe not as much as McChum knows. Why are people like you looking for him?
I need to know what kind of people like you. Is this a foreigners, white people?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. He's, he's obviously military now, just looking at the way he's standing, how he acts. So, civilians,
Okay.
yeah.
Interesting. Okay. How to approach this? Yeah, I think at this point, Irene, it still has like both hands like folded on top of the table, very clearly like I'm not trying her best to not look threatening or to not look whatever. Uh, we're following up on some leads left behind by a deceased friend. Told to get in contact with him, and it's been a very long journey to get here.
He asks, are you familiar at all with the New China movement?
Ooh. Out of character, Kienna knows, and that's piquing my interest, but
Yeah.
no.
I don't know. Am I?
I mean, you were here. It's kind of you could be. I mean, you could be. That
Yeah.
seems like the kind of thing Ganymede would be interested in.
Yeah.
Right now, they're kind of like a vigilante organization, maybe with 200 members.
Okay. Vaguely familiar from my previous visits to the city. Why is Mr. Brady somehow involved with the New China movement?
I believe so. And if you know anything about his location, I implore you to tell me.
What is your interest in finding him, sir? You know ours.
I believe he is involved with the development of a powerful and deadly new weapon.
Involved how?
That is what I wish to find out.
Well, it may very well be then that our interests align, and with that, I think she relaxes a bit and maybe even takes just the slightest step forward, and says, "Lieutenant Ganymede Graves, it's a pleasure to know you."
Yeah? Yeah. What would be would there be any like proper thing that he would give you back? I mean, he's already introduced himself, but
Well, if we were in the same service, he would outrank me,
right.
probably. But especially if he's a Navy captain.
Yeah.
But we're not. So I don't know that there'd be anything official.
I think there's at least like a nod. Like there's obviously like both being in the service, like there is a little bit of
Yeah.
respect there. Especially
Yeah.
both being like seamen, basically.
Yes.
You know what I meant, web captioner.
I was waiting.
Come
I was like,
on.
which one is it going to go to?
Come on. And at this point, the door from the bathroom opens again, and he like scurries back to his pretense of being drunk. That is very good. So let's rewind and head into the bathroom with McChum and Charles. As soon as he like gets you in there and closes the door, he takes his hand off you and like curls it into a fist, but obviously not to punch you, to like hold it together. He's like just looking at you. Like, what are you? Like, what's the matter with you?
I'm sorry. Have I made you angry?
You've put me in danger. Well, perhaps.
Have I? I was just making conversation with another patron of this establishment.
Do you know how many people in Shanghai are looking for Jack Brady?
I'm gonna guess a lot.
Good guess.
Well, that makes 4 more of us. I was told that you were the person to come to for information.
Who told
Sorry,
you
I
that?
didn't he's gonna pull out the matchbox that we took from Jackson Elias's. Say, Jackson Elias. Does that name sound familiar to you? He may have been using a pseudonym while he was here, and oh my god, can I go back all the way in my notes?
Jesse Hughes.
Jesse Hughes. Yeah, I wrote it down.
He shrugs. He doesn't recognize the name, at least.
Well, he was here, and we've been looking into circumstances surrounding Jack Brady for quite some time now. We came here with other intentions as well, but one of our primary concerns is finding him and speaking to him.
Take off your shirt.
Okay. Yeah, you will.
Lift up your arms.
Okay, he'll do it.
Yeah, he kind of pulls at your left arm, gets a really good look at your armpit, and drops it back down. Why are you looking for him?
Jack Brady was part of an expedition. We're looking into the expedition, not so much him, but he is one of the only known survivors of that expedition, and we need to speak with him.
Well, he's, not in Shanghai, is he?
Is he not?
Nope. Think he left a while back.
Can I?
Yeah, you should.
Yeah. Psychology?
Yeah.
Okay, I will use an advantage.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I just put it out of roll 20. Hold on, give me a second.
Pray to the Roll20 gods.
Roll 20, be with me. I need you right now.
Hey, it got Roll20 that time. Nice.
Okay, here we go.
He does. If he's lying to you, threaten to turn him into a chum bucket.
You're terrible.
God.
You're terrible, honey. You're out. I'm kicking you out.
All right.
Hey!
Success.
I saw that success. Do you want to spend that point of luck?
Fuck yeah, I do.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Great.
Oh fuck yeah.
Then you
Okay.
get it.
Yeah.
So. It's a puzzle talk bar.
Yeah,
So you're
it
gonna
is.
need to pay him, and there's obviously more here than just like not wanting, like waiting for money. There's obviously some emotional attachment, and unless he trusts you, he's probably not gonna give you accurate information, or at least not detailed.
Charlie is going to pull back on his shirt, like button it up and reach into his pocket and start to pull out money. And I think way more than he thinks is probably necessary, which is probably already a lot given that everybody's looking for Jack Brady.
Yeah.
Um,
Give him those silver
and-
dollars.
Yeah, silver dollars. And I think Charlie's just going to kind of hand it over and say, I can't say that I know why everyone else is looking for Jack Brady, but we need this information. And that's not just, this isn't about personal interest. This isn't about getting ahead. This is a matter of an international conspiracy that we have been unraveling for the better part of this year. And maybe that doesn't make any sense to you, but we're trying to save as many people as we can. And this information, any information that you have, helps.
Jack Brady and Jack Brady has many friends in Shanghai.
Are you one of them?
I guess the bigger question is, are you?
A friend to Jack Brady? I've never met him. But I wouldn't count myself among his enemies.
I suspect he is still in the city. He didn't tell me where he was going, but you might ask Quivering Jade down the street.
I can see that. Clearly, I didn't approach this kind of information the right way. What would be the right way?
Subtlety.
Me and my friends have never been very good at that, but we'll give it our best shot. Do you know why everyone else is so interested in Jack Brady? All we knew about him is that he was a bodyguard.
Well, since this, I hope, will be the last time we speak, he stole something from Madame Swallow, that's what he says. And now The Order of the Bloated Woman wants it too.
So those men with the tattoos.
They are hers.
And this Order of the Bloated Women, do they have any tells like that?
Tattoos in the left armpit.
Ah. Makes it hard to spot them from a distance.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think he walks out of there.
Mm-hmm.
That's when the door opens. The captain returns to his drunkenness, and McChum definitely notes the passed out man over one table and the absence of another, but kind of looks like maybe they got into a fight.
Charlie takes a second to kind of like dry off his shirt a little bit, and then he's gonna head out of the bathroom back over to Ganny and Irene, and just kind of note Zeb's absence, because I don't think he saw the man leave, but obviously he can see as well that he's gone. But he looks confused a little bit, but doesn't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we should head out. We've got so much to do here in Shanghai.
I think so too.
Yeah. So
Charlie is gonna leave just like a note with where he's staying
Oh my god.
with
We
McChum.
just keep giving your address to people.
Oh, yeah, might as well. And I don't think he says anything about it. He just kind of he like scrawls it quickly on like a scrap of paper and leaves it on the bar.
for McChum.
Yep.
Okay. So, as you head out, hopefully to meet back up with Zeb, and the captain will very subtly follow you. He's not trying to hide it from the two of you who know, but obviously he wants to speak more away from the stumbling tiger. I think as you leave, again, you see one of those advertisements for Mr. Lung, the astrologer, out and about. Except this one has been, like, scratched through with some kind of blade. And that's where we're going to end our first episode in Shanghai. New chapter. Masks of Nyarlathotep. This is so exciting. This is so cool. I'm so excited to be here. This is great. So let's go around to everybody. Check in. How are you enjoying Shanghai so far? Let's start with Tommy.
Shanghai is great, especially since we went and kicked the I guess the swallow's nest in this case. Like we didn't waste any time, just absolutely no chance to, get our bearings straight. We're just like, Charlie's just like, nope, we're kicking the door. And we got all sorts of stuff happening. We've got like 4 different factions going on here. Like, Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh,
I'm
boy.
super excited for next week. But yeah. I'm Tommy at a Penguin on the Twitter sphere. Well, I got Twitter sphere right, but I think it said I got a frying pan or
Do
something.
you now?
I don't know. You can find me on the Twitter sphere, where I blah, 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 blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah. I do tabletop RPG stuff and video editing stuff across the interwebs, like the intro for this show.
Woo.
Go follow these people; they're doing amazing things. Yeah. Yep.
Excellent. Alrighty, let's hop over to Summer.
Hi, it's me, Summer.
Hi.
This was super fun. I'm so excited to be here in Shanghai. It's so cool. Just love the vibes. Yeah, you can find me. The vibes are good.
The vibes are good.
You can find me on Twitter at Just a Summer Job. That is where I tweet and retweet about everything that I've got going on. All I have to say to you is Missing Annie Lee premiered yesterday. So if you have not listened to that, please do. It is a weekly show, so it will be coming out again next Friday. I'm just going to continue to talk about it because, like, it's so good and you need to go hear it. So please do. We worked really, really hard on it, and we just want to share it with all of you. So yes, please go check that out. Leave us a review if you like the show. That would really help us as well. Tell your friends about it. Tell your parents about it. Tell your siblings about it. Just tell everyone about it. Anyway, see you next week. I'm really excited.
Yay! And let's go up to Allie.
This is off to a classic start for this bunch. I loved everything about this. I'm especially interested in perhaps learning a little bit more about Isoji-san and what he knows about this weapon. So I'm glad that he's following us. That's very cool. And I'm so glad that we didn't shoot him, because it could have gone that way.
It would have been so bad
Super
for
easy.
you.
Could have gone that way. Hey, I'm Allie. I don't shoot people in real life anymore. You can find me on Twitter at Allison Robinson with 2 L's and a Y, where I tweet about role-playing games and space and robots and history and eldritch horrors and things of that nature. Follow me there, and I'll follow you. It's so great to be in this new phase of this adventure. It's one of my favorite things right now. I love it. So I hope I will see you all next week.
Excellent. And Kienna, anything in particular to plug? It's getting closer to your name.
It's getting there. It's getting there. We just need to replace, we just need to go into the word replacement section and say, not Keanu, it's Kienna, not Canada, it's Kienna.
It's Kienna.
You can find me over on Twitter at Kienna S. Best way to forget what I'm doing. I do a lot of TTRPG stuff. Things to announce, not much. Against the Stars is going to be back at the end of this month. That's the campaign that I GM of Burn Bright. Super excited to be back with the crew. It's going to be a new time slot, Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. But there's going to be a lot of cool stuff happening over there. It did have a Kienna. Just need to fix that spelling.
Okay, and I am Lauren. I am that salty ginger over on Twitter.
Hello, people raiding.
Hi,
Hello, raiders. We're just signing off for the day. But please stick around because we're gonna go raid someone else, and we can just combine
It's a
our
party
powers.
train.
Yeah, we'll just combine our
Party
powers.
train. Yeah. So yeah, Missing Annie Lee is the big thing I want to plug. It's our Fear Itself podcast that we worked on with Summer and Off the Table, and it's wonderful and we love it very much. So if you want to listen to it, it's on Apple, it's on Spotify. Go listen to it. It's really cool if you like Twin Peaks or It or anything like that. I'm really, really proud of it. So other things. Thank you, Roll20. Thank you, Dice Envy. Thank you, Grinding Coffee Co., our lovely sponsors. Thank you, everyone here who resubbed and cheered and tipped and all that good stuff. Thank you very, very much. If you ever miss an episode, we have them all up on YouTube. If you ever want to know, when we're going live or whatnot, you can find us on Twitter. Everything is Salty Sweet Games, like that. So we're going to go raid some friends. And we will see you next week for more Shanghai shenanigans. Wave bye, everybody. Goodbye. Goodbye.